Sure.
Hashtag humble brag. But dang, now I sound cocky.
That's fine.
I don't know how to-
We're smart.
Welcome back to another episode of The Couch. It's funny because I imagined filming episodes of The Couch on actual couches, but currently we are on a bed. I feel like it's quite important to explain exactly why we are here. Why are we here on someone's bed?
Americans don't have couches.
That is right. Okay, so today we're gonna have a conversation. I wanna kind of get into the topic of education. Okay, I feel like my British viewers are quite confused about exactly how the American system works, as I was. And I think Americans are quite ignorant of how the British system works. So hopefully in this conversation we can bridge the gap between the two perspectives. Yeah, first of all, introduce yourselves.
What do you want me to say? Like,
Who you are.
I am Aaron. Yeah, I'm Aaron Granados. Check out my YouTube channel.
Okay.
Yeah, I just finished my freshman year of college, and I'm a film major.
I'm Rachel Varghese. I've just finished my first year of university, and I'm majoring in architecture.
You guys know who I am already. Okay, let's start from the very basics. Let's start from the beginning and build our way up. What's the first thing you can do? Like, you're a baby, and you're a toddler, then you can actually go to some kind of schooling. What is that?
When you are 4, there's something called preschool, which isn't required, but a lot of parents send their kids to preschool. That's around 4 years old, right?
Oh, but there's also 4K, where you could, if your children are like too young to go into kindergarten, so your first year of primary school, you can put them into 4K, and from there they can move on to first grade if they want to go in early. And that's only in some certain districts. It's something that I only learned once moving to Wisconsin.
I
But
didn't even know that.
yeah,
Okay.
fun facts.
See, what we're all learning here. You mentioned primary school. What does that mean in American?
So, I mean, your primary education is considered your education before high school.
Okay.
So high school is then, by the time you're around 14 to 18, is your high school years. But then before that is quote unquote your primary education.
So is middle school also?
So
primary?
middle school is incorporated in your primary education.
Okay, we're gonna define middle school later on. Okay. Next stage. What's after that?
After preschool is kindergarten, which is like the first actual grade that it's required to go to. And that's usually when you're 5 years old, you go to kindergarten. That's when you start learning stuff like the alphabet and your numbers and a bunch of basic skills and social skills. A lot of parents send their kids to preschool to get those social skills, but then like kindergarten adds on to that.
Okay. We have nursery. I don't know what to say about nursery except that that's when you first begin to like actually learn stuff. I think reception is more about just keeping your kid occupied whilst your parents do stuff throughout the day. But then nursery, that's when you first pick up a pencil or a pen. And begin
How
to
old
do
are you
stuff.
in nursery?
You're asking some tough questions now. I'm the worst person to actually talk about this, but I'm gonna guess. You know what? You can't.
Did you not do nursery?
I did, but I just don't know stuff. That's my problem. I really don't know. Okay, for my British viewers, help me out, please. Comment down below if you know what's going on with nursery. What age are you when you start nursery, and what age are you when you start primary school? Because I thought I knew.
After kindergarten is first grade. So it's then, I mean, it's the next grade. So then you're 6 or 7 years old in first grade. Then it continues all the way down to, depending on what school district you're in, you could either end your elementary school at 4th grade, at 5th grade, or at 6th grade. It really depends what district you're part of. If you end in 4th grade, then you move on to an intermediate school, which is a 5th and 6th grade. And then you move on to middle school, which is a 7th and 8th. And then you go to high school.
Ooh, we'll get there. So what age are you when you complete elementary school?
So elementary school is kindergarten to 5th grade. We'll take this example. So in 5th grade, you'd be 10 or 11.
Okay, that's more like in the UK. We finish primary school at about that same very age.
11.
Yeah. I hope. Yeah. When I first began to apply for secondary schools, I think
You have to apply?
Yeah. I applied to 3.
What kind of qualifications do you have for application at 11 years old?
Yeah, so we take it, that's a very good question. We take SATs, SATs, I'll never forget. Emily Bohe, if you're watching this, I'll never forget, like, she was a very smart girl in my class that always worked very hard. And when she received her SAT scores, she got straight 5s. And I remember just seeing Emily's reaction, like, she went bright pink, she began to like tear up and then began to like cry. And I thought, what happened? But she had tears of joy. And she was like 11 years old, but it meant that much to her to actually get straight 5s. It's kind of sad. One of my friends who's actually Brazilian, I'm not going to say his name, he didn't do so well. And I can remember he was crying, not because he was happy, but because he flopped. Like, are you good, Aaron?
Huh?
Are you good?
My condolences.
So he's not dead. He didn't die from the results. So how do you get into high schools?
You
Just
go.
Get in, just go.
Well, first there's middle school though.
Yeah.
So when you're 12, it's usually that, but you know, some people come in to school earlier or later. But you just move on to middle school. You don't apply, you just go.
It just really depends on what district you're a part of. And it depends on, like, if you went to this elementary school, you're going to go to this junior high. It, like, depends on where you lived. So it's all about proximity. But generally, depending on what elementary school you went to, that would determine what middle school you went to. And that's the same way your middle school would determine what high school you would go to. I had a middle school graduation ceremony. We had caps, robes, the whole 9 yards.
That's not normal.
Really?
I don't know. Yeah, for me, well, I'm from a small city, so there's only 7,000 people in our city. So everybody went to the same elementary school, and then to the same middle school, and to the same high school. So like, it didn't even matter, because it was all the same school for everybody.
That's
Wow.
actually crazy.
Beautiful.
One close family.
Well, so I guess essentially what you're doing is when you choose your preschool, you're choosing your child's like preschool, middle school, and high school because you choose their track.
Well, preschool doesn't.
Yeah,
Isn't
preschool
part
doesn't
of it.
determine anything.
Preschool is completely optional, completely separate from any other school.
Yeah.
What's the one that's after preschool?
Kindergarten.
Is that connected to your?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So like if a school has open enrollment, if you're from another town over, you can choose to enroll your child in this specific school. But most schools, it's based off of where you live.
Okay, let's move on. So how do you go about choosing your college? Because this you get to choose, right?
Yeah.
Then it's what you go to college. So how do you determine like which college you go to? Are there exams? And how do you apply?
Yeah, because that's higher education. That's up to you if you want to have more education or if you just want to jump into work or go into the military. There are a lot of people who go into the military here.
Going into college, I mean, you have to take, depending on which coast in the United States at least. So if you are on the East Coast, you want to take the SATs, which is different from the SATs that you guys, I'm assuming, are taking.
Not the same.
Not the same. It's different SATs.
We're just really stupid over here.
The first time is free. Your high school will pay for it. But then if you want to take it again to potentially get a better score, you have to pay to take it again. It'll be your grade point average essays that you have to write, extracurriculars that you're a part of. You have to decide if what kind of degree you want, whether that's a 2-year degree, you want to go to a 4-year university, if grad school is something that you're thinking about.
Technical college.
Technical college, community college. These are all options.
Pause.
Okay.
My back hurts.
Do you want a pillow as well?
I'm good. I'll be fine.
Sit upright.
We good?
Sure.
Okay, good. Yeah.
But yeah, so you can choose your university based off of what you want to go into. So I wanted to go into architecture. UW-Milwaukee has a really good architecture program. A big plus for me, whether you want to be in an urban community or a rural community. All of these things are factors in choosing what university works for you. And also how expensive a college is also a big factor.
It's very expensive over here.
Oh yeah.
So, first of all, UW means University of Wisconsin. All the public schools in Wisconsin are University of Wisconsin. And then there are private schools, private colleges mostly, and those are all typically a lot more expensive. But the public schools are usually cheaper, and especially if you live in the state where they are, you get even cheaper. So I'm from Wisconsin, so I get a good deal to come here, UW-Milwaukee. And so that's one of the reasons I chose, and it's close to home. But also they have a good film program, and because I'm a film major, I thought that'd be a good idea.
I'm going to be American for a minute, and you guys can just correct me if I'm wrong. So we didn't really mention high school has 4 years to it.
Oh, right.
You have your freshman year, your sophomore year, your junior year, and your senior year.
Mhm.
Okay. Do you take exams towards college in like your one of your
Your
final-
junior.
So your junior year.
Junior year, okay. And that determines, so you get your GPA, which is like your grade point average
For all 4 years, yeah.
for all 4 years. Okay, then what happens in the junior year then?
So junior year is where you would take your ACT and SAT tests.
Okay. Now do colleges look at those scores when you apply?
Yes.
Yes.
That's like the main thing.
That's one
that they
of
look
the,
at.
so your ACT or SAT scores and your GPA are two of the biggest things that colleges look for.
And then when you apply to a college, you don't necessarily apply to a subject or necessarily to a subject so much as the college itself.
Mhm.
So actually at UWM, it depends on what major you're in. So I applied directly to the School of Architecture.
Okay.
And so for other programs, like for the nursing program, that's not something you can apply to until after you've been a part of the university. But specifically for the architecture program, that's something you directly apply to. And it depends on if you get admitted into the program itself. So it really depends on what field you're going into.
So you're just in now?
What do
Like
you
you don't have to like apply to get in or anything? Like,
So like I applied before I came. So I could have gotten accepted to UW-Milwaukee, but just not the architecture program.
okay. Because like for film, I'm like kind of in the film program, but in order to continue until like the higher level, I have to apply and like send in work that I've done and show that I'm a good student my next semester, which is my third semester, to prove that I can keep going further.
I knew I would be accepted because
Oh,
I don't want to brag,
sorry.
but I had good scores. School is something that I'm pretty good at.
I can
Me
attest
too.
to this.
No, this is the only school I applied to. Not
So
really humble, just brag.
Sure.
hashtag humble brag. But dang, now I sound cocky.
We're smart.
I'm going to be American again. When you come to college, in your first year, you can like come sort of undeclared. If you don't quite know what you want to study, but you know where you want to study, you can apply to say UWM and then just be undecided, and then you have to take classes called Gen Eds, which are general subjects like maths, English, humanities, and you're given an advisor who can help you plan towards a degree subject that you want to like specialize in later on.
Depending on like what classes I took in high school, I was able to get out of like doing a lot of that stuff in college. And based off of like, because even before going into college, once you get accepted into college, you take placement tests to see, there's just more tests to see how smart you are, how much you know.
I was 1 point away from testing out of math.
So if you're lucky, like I was, you just test out of everything, and then you don't have to take them.
So it seems to me like American college picks up the slack from American high school, whereas in the UK, we're far more specialized. So in year 11, you take GCSEs, which is usually around 10 subjects, I think between 8 and 10, depending on your school. So I took like, let's see how many I can name. Maths, English lit, English language.
We don't have that in America. We don't have English.
You don't have that. Biology, chemistry, drama.
Drama?
You had to take drama?
No. So you choose your GCSEs out of like a couple of choices.
Okay.
There's some that are compulsory, like maths. Both Englishes are compulsory. I chose biology and chemistry out of the 3 sciences. I chose Spanish as my language out of Spanish, German, and French. I chose drama. I chose history. I chose business. So you take 10 subjects that were thereabouts for GCSEs, that's year 11, I was 16. Then in lower SIT, you specialize right down from 10 to 4 subjects usually, or 3, I think. If you're able to, then 4. That was kind of the norm at my school, but not every school. 4 or 3 subjects at something called a S level. That's your first year of British college, which is the equivalent to the American junior year of high school. And then in your second and final year of British college, equivalent to the American senior year of high school, you're down to 3 subjects, usually, depending on how many you can take on. And the fact that it's 3 just shows you how specialized you are in these individual subjects. So for most people, like, you do away with like maths and English, the basic subjects, and you choose what you want to do toward your degree. So for me, I chose at my AS level politics, philosophy, economics, and drama. And I dropped drama for my second year, and I just took on politics, philosophy, and economics towards a degree in more the political sphere. That was my initial aspiration. But then I chose to switch it up and go straight from that to theology, but these were still good towards theology. You apply directly for a subject. You can't like spend time undecided or in any kind of limbo. You apply to the uni and to the subject itself all in one go. It's not optional, that's what you do. They look at your subjects and your grades. So for example, if you want to do economics, you have to have had an A-level in mathematics or economics or both, depending on what the university specifies as their entry requirements. And you pretty much hit the ground running, but the first year of British university doesn't count towards your degree.
For me, I took 3 film classes each semester. They really get you in there. So I've taken 6 film classes already, and I have a lot more to come, but I guess it depends on what you're doing.
I know a lot of people are taking a lot of gen eds their first year, but since I applied directly to the program, you start running, and so you take several architecture courses that will continue down into the rest of your educational career in the architecture program. So in my experience, your first year is we have a lot. Do you have the term weed out classes?
No.
Oh,
sounds scary.
So what a weed out class is, so it's an entry level course that will get anyone who isn't ready for the program out of it. So they'll drop out. So the difficulty is high enough so that the people who are actually willing to stay will stay, and the people who will not make it will drop out of the program. So that's a lot of year one for the architecture program. And I make it seem more bleak than it is. It's an incredible program, and I have a lot of praise for it.
Okay, I'm conscious of how long this video has been so far, but I think we've learned a lot of stuff. There's more to talk about, definitely. There's more details to get into that I do want to get into in a future video. But this has been informative. I hope you have been informed. I hope you guys have learned some stuff as well.
Yeah.
I know that I have. Thank you for watching this episode of The Couch, and hopefully we'll be back with more information, more interesting questions, and hopefully eventually I'll be actually on a couch for this series.
We're never going to be in a video again.
Yeah, this is actually, by the way, my last day in America. So I wanted to shoot this video.
It's
with
currently
some Americans.
3:24 in the morning.
By the way,
Yeah.
college life.
Oh.
Okay. Any closing remarks for the British or American viewers?
Stay in school, kids.
And Granados on YouTube.
Yeah. You know what?
Thank you.
I'm not good at filming. If it's not good, then that's just the quality of my channel. That's alright. Oh.
The intro
Oh.
right here.
Oh.
Alright, how long is this gonna go on?
I don't know.